Hello and welcome to HighLevel Techie. This is Jitin here, and today we are going to talk about voice AI custom actions. If you want to build really cool voice AI agents that can actually interact with a third-party software, fetch data from an external database, update contact records, book an appointment, and more, all of this can be done using custom actions in voice AI agents. So that is why this section is really important. And without wasting any more time, let's get into it and let's get started. So when you convert your voice AI agent goals into advanced mode, you will get access to the prompt as well as the actions. And there are two types of actions. One you can trigger during the call and the one you can trigger after the call. And depending on when you want to trigger or capture the details, you can select the type of actions. If you want to capture a certain detail during the call, you can set up that action during the call. Or if that action is not very critical, you can do it even after the call. Then you can set that up after the call. So that is the two main distinctions when it comes to when to trigger the actions. So if a certain action is not very critical, you can trigger that action after the call. That would help with the latency of your agent as well, because if the agent has too many tools to run during the call, it can actually increase the complexity and latency for your voice AI agent. So that is something you have to keep it in your mind when designing your voice AI agents and its actions. So let's go and create a new action. To create a new action, all we have to do is click here on new actions. Then you will find a bunch of actions that are available right now. And the first action is called the call transfer action. So let's click on that. And it says here, call transfer is transfer the call to a human. But it doesn't mean that you can only transfer this call to a human. You can also transfer the call to a different agent as well. And the way you do it is by assigning a phone number to an agent and use that phone number to transfer this call from to that agent. So now let's go ahead and see how you can set up the call transfer action. So first of all, you have to give an action name. So this is mainly for your own identification purpose. But when it comes to AI agents, all of these things that you set up here would become a tool, and this tool or the tool call will become part of the main prompt. So whenever you have a chance, always give a right name or an appropriate name for the actions, so that even if it is used inside the prompt, the AI agent can understand what this tool will do and it can run the tool appropriately. So let's call the action name as transfer to manager. And here you would put the phone number of the manager, whatever is the phone number, you put that in. And then you have to specify the trigger for this action to take place in plain English. So that is what this means. When should the call transfer take place? And the example given here is that if the user wants to talk to the manager or a business owner, the AI agent will pick up that intent from the conversation and then it will run this tool and the call will be transferred to the person whose number we are mentioned here. So we can say the same thing if the caller is asking about sales process. So if you have a different department for sales, and this is actually the voice AI agent you're using is actually the main receptionist, you can transfer this call to the right department depending on what the caller is asking during that conversation. So if the caller is asking about sales process, you can transfer to, so now let's change the action name to sales manager. So transfer to sales manager if the caller asking about sales process. And you can add more details to this trigger up to 500 characters. So if you want to go in detail, you can do so by giving more information in here. And then comes the next part, which is what to say before transferring the call. So this is actually for the AI agent. So if you say that we are transferring the call to the manager, your AI agent will speak the exact sentence that you put in here when this tool is triggered. So during the call, if someone is saying that I want to know more about the pricing of this product because I want to buy it soon, then this main receptionist can transfer this call to the manager to this number. And while doing that, the AI agent would say that we are transferring the call to the manager. So whatever you type in here will be the exact sentence the AI agent is going to say. So the agent would speak the exact same sentence whenever there is a tool call run. So you can try to add a sentence that would make sense during all the time. Plus, this would also give a bit of context to the caller towards what is going to happen in the next minute, because otherwise they wouldn't have an idea if their call is being transferred or what is happening. So that is also another reason why you need to give a very descriptive sentence here. And for some reason, for certain tool calls, you don't really want to say anything. In that case, you can try to delete this. But the problem is that this is a mandatory field. You can see this asterisk here, and you can also see the field is required. So in that case, you cannot keep it blank, but the workaround is to add a space so that it is counted as a character and the field is filled and there is some value in that field, but the agent wouldn't really say anything. But if you want to test it out, you can try to listen really closely and you might hear a certain sound that equates to the empty space character, but you have to be really, really listening to it to get that sound. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know that that has happened. So if you want to skip typing in any sentence, you can simply add space. That would also work. Now comes the last part, which says here the whisper message with call summary on transfer. So this is actually for the human agent or the manager who is going to get that call. During this whisper message, the AI agent will summarize the call and tell the person what was happening in the previous call, so that that person gets an idea of what is really happening in the previous call and they have a context as well. So if that is important to you, you can toggle this on and you will hear that whisper message before picking up that call. And if you are actually transferring this call to an AI agent, you don't really need to add that whisper message. And in such cases, you can uncheck this box and it would work without any problem. So to give you a quick recap, if you want to transfer the call to a human or to another AI agent, this is the tool that you would use called transfer tool. And then you give a name to the action and add the phone number to transfer to, and then you mention the trigger on which this call transfer should take place by clearly defining the scenario in which you want this transfer to take place. And then you can also write what to say before transferring this call. So that is how the call transfer would work. And this call transfer action is the heart of my self-selling voice AI agent. And when you call this self-selling voice AI agent, the first agent will pick up the call and collect data. Once it has collected the data and scraped data from the website, it will transfer the call to a second agent with all the details about this business, and the second agent would give a live demo on the call itself. And all of this is happening because of this call transfer action. So this is a really powerful feature, and if you are not using it, you have to start using it. So I hope this is helpful. So I will see you in the next lesson with the next action.